if I can save 7,000 people a week from being killed, I think that's a pretty... I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons. Well, I think I saved a lot of lives with India, Pakistan. They were going at it. The planes were being...
It appears President Trump is about to kick the bucket. I'm talking about one final permanent beep.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we want to talk about these viral videos that have been making the rounds. Alright, let's break this down. This viral clip is making the rounds, and apparently Trump thinks that by ending the war in Ukraine, he's got himself a first-class ticket into heaven. Yeah, you heard that right? Now, here is the problem. This isn't about normality. This is about politics, ego, and power. Trump is not some peace-loving diplomat. This is the same guy who cozied up the authoritarian leaders, undermined NATO, and continuously praised Putin.
If I can save 7,000 people a week from being killed, I think that's a pretty... I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons. Well, I think I saved a lot of lives with India, Pakistan. They were going at it. The planes were being...
So he's joking about how ending the war in Ukraine might help him get into heaven. So many things to say. First of all, bro, you said you were gonna end the war on day one. 6 months later, over 6 months later, ain't shit happened. Number two, bro, you're not getting into heaven no matter what. Someone tell this man that he doesn't have to worry. Lucifer is gonna welcome him at the gates of his forever home. Hopefully soon.
It appears President Trump is about to kick the bucket. I'm talking about one final permanent beep from his heart rate monitor, as health experts across the world are raising genuine concern over the president's health after multiple different events in recent memory have painted a different picture of the president's health than this administration is letting on. From Trump's meeting with the World Cup president, where he spent most of the time making sure to cover up his hand, to cover up all the foundation on his hand, meant to cover up all the bruising from the IV drips he's been getting, and not all the handshakes he gives out like Carolyn Levitt likes to tell. From when he was in Alaska, where it seemed like he was a bowling ball going down a lane with bumpers up as he was just going boing, 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 trying to walk down that red carpet, unable to walk even the semblance of a straight line, most likely because his cankles continue to swell up like grapefruits because he's unable to get blood flow from his legs back up to what people call a heart. And that's also why they've been hiding him behind the Resolute desk more often during press conferences so that people can't snap photos of his feet. But almost the most telling sign is Trump hasn't been golfing in 13 days, which is highly unusual for him. He's 1 day away from breaking his all-time record of time spent not golfing while president.
Additionally, recent photos of the president have shown minor bruising on the back of his hand. This is consistent with minor soft tissue irritation from frequent handshaking and the use of aspirin, which is taken as part of a standard cardiovascular prevention regimen. This is a well-known and benign side effect of aspirin therapy. And the president remains in excellent health, which I think all of you witness on a daily basis here.
The president's congestive heart failure is getting worse. I'm a home health physical therapist with a doctorate in my field. I see congestive heart failure patients on a daily basis. The reason I know that he has congestive heart failure is because of the swelling in his feet and ankles. And the reason I know it's getting worse is because he's sitting behind the desk on camera now. He lashed out against MSNBC for giving him hash about his ankles. This is how we know that something is true, because it gets to Trump. Remember recently where he was talking about going to heaven for some fucking reason? He says, people said I'm not doing very well. I don't think he's talking about the media. I think he's talking about the doctors who are treating him. The only reason his health has been maintained at all is because he has the privilege of getting IV diuretics, spironolactone, Lasix, Bumex, something like that. That's why his hands have been bruised and covered with makeup. Badly, I might add. We know that it's getting worse because he knows he cannot hide the degree of swelling. That's why he's sitting behind the desk. Oh, he also has chronic kidney disease, which is also contributing to the swelling in the feet and ankles. I can't tell you how many times I have seen a patient in their home because they were hospitalized for AKI, or acute kidney injury. And the kidney injury was caused by nephrotoxic medications, namely diuretics, spironolactone, Bumex, Lasix. The president is definitely getting sicker, and we know he's not going to change his diet because he's such a fucking idiot. I think he's going to be around for 6 to 8 months tops. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So the president has congestive heart failure and or chronic kidney disease, I'm pretty sure. I'm a physical therapist and I work in home health. I work with congestive heart failure and chronic kidney disease patients on a daily basis and have done so for the last 14 years. I made a video previously explaining why I thought he did based on the symptoms I was spotting at the time, particularly the nature of the swelling in his legs. But then I remembered I'd forgotten an obvious one: periorbital edema, or swelling around the eyes. My wife is a massive fan of Sherlock Holmes, and she has all of the Jeremy Brett versions of Sherlock Holmes from Grenada Television in the UK from years ago, all on DVD. Jeremy Brett was a brilliant British actor who actually ended up passing away from congestive heart failure. As his disease progressed, he put on weight in general, and he developed periorbital swelling. So when you look at Trump nowadays, it's not simply that he's getting old and his skin is sagging, it's that his eyeballs are floating from all that fluid his body is not supposed to be carrying. And I've seen several videos recently from ICU and ER nurses that suspect that he's actually on IV Lasix. We all know his diet is terrible, so we just need him to keep that up. I can tell you from firsthand experience with congestive heart failure and chronic kidney disease patients, the thing that puts them at the most risk of hospitalization or a fatal event is non-compliance with their medication or their diet. We know he's not compliant with his diet, but he can get away with that because he has access to the best health care the world can provide, including IV treatments whenever he needs them. Nobody is going to tell this president what he should or should not be eating, and that's fine. We're okay with that. Many of you were asking before, well, how long does he have? And the truth is, it could be a couple of months if he doesn't behave, which he won't. Awesome. And before any of you MAGA smooth brains jump in the comments, it was completely wrong of the federal government to hide how bad Joe Biden was actually doing. I don't care who it is in office, you need to be healthy. And if you're not, those things need to be disclosed to the American people. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
So the other day, Donald Trump was walking around the White House, and he went to the White House gift shop. And then he came back to give a press conference for FIFA. And this is how he looked. And by any account, you would say that this does not look very great or put together. He sort of looks like he just came off of a drunken tirade 24-hour bender. But I'm going to play you a video that I came across from a professional. He is a licensed professional. This is not my opinion. I am just playing the video. You're going to see his TikTok handle name in the video. You can go look at his video, but let's watch what he has to say about Donald Trump.
The president's congestive heart failure is getting worse. I'm a home health physical therapist with a doctorate in my field. I see congestive heart failure patients on a daily basis. The reason I know that he has congestive heart failure is because of the swelling in his feet and ankles. The reason I know it's getting worse is because he's sitting behind the desk on camera now. He lashed out against MSNBC for giving him hash about his ankles. This is how we know that something is true, because it gets to Trump. Remember recently where he was talking about going to heaven for some fucking reason? Because people said I'm not doing very well. I don't think he's talking about the media. I think he's talking about the doctors who are treating him. The only reason his health has been maintained at all is because he has the privilege of getting IV diuretics, spironolactone, Lasix, Bumex, something like that. That's why his hands have been bruised and covered with makeup. Badly, I might add. We know that it's getting worse because he knows he cannot hide the degree of swelling. That's why he's sitting behind the desk. Oh, he also has chronic kidney disease, which is also contributing to the swelling in the feet and ankles. I can't tell you how many times I have seen a patient in their home because they were hospitalized for AKI, or acute kidney injury. And the kidney injury was caused by nephrotoxic medications, namely diuretics, spironolactone, Bumex, Lasix. The president is definitely getting sicker. And we know he's not going to change his diet because he's such a fucking idiot. I think he's going to be around for 6 to 8 months tops. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Now, as I said, I am not a professional. I am not a doctor. I am not giving any diagnosis. That gentleman, who is a professional, is. Tell me what you think.
Donald Trump seems to be concerned about his own mortality. President Trump dialed into Fox and Friends earlier today, Tuesday, August 19th, on Tuesday morning, and revealed his newest and truest motivation for brokering an end to the war in Ukraine. This is from the New York Times. He's worried he might not get into heaven after he dies. He's got like a 65-year track record that's going to keep him out of heaven, guys. Said Trump, I want to try to get into heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I am really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get into heaven, this will be one of the reasons. The article continued. This would have been a highly unusual admission from any president, but it seemed especially out of character coming from this one. He knows he's dying. He knows he's dying. He can see his cankles, and he knows what his cankles mean. He knows he's dying.
Did it happen? It's Sunday, August 24th at 11:13. Don't judge me, I slept in. But still, it's past 9 a.m. Did it happen?
The reason why Donald Trump went on Fox News and told everyone that he wants to end the war in Ukraine and because he wants to go to heaven is because he knows he's dying. I am under the firm belief that Donald Trump is well aware of the fact that he probably does not have much longer left. A lot of people have been diagnosing him. I've seen, of course, and I've seen a lot of like certified doctors and things like that, of course, and I'm a very spiritual person, so I do have seen like, you know, those like very, very believable psychics and things like that that have spoken up and acknowledged that like, yeah, it's not looking good for him. Because remember, if you don't remember, they said he had like chronic venous insufficiency. But a lot of people were saying, looking at the size of his fat ass cankles, he probably has congestive heart failure. And if that's the case, obviously if you have congestive heart failure, from what I remember, from what I know about it, there is like no cure. It's not like something, it will eventually kill you. So obviously, given the fact that he's an older guy, he's very, 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 very overweight, very unfit, just an evil, because evil will eventually kill your spirit and your soul. Yeah, he probably don't got much longer left. And like I said, I think that's the reason why, because I think too, he's shown like plenty of signs of just not being all the way there mentally and cognitively. So I think too that like his, he probably does have his advisors kind of saying, do this, do that, do this, do that. Because yes, Donald Trump is an evil, terrible man who wants to be a dictator. But I think too, in the same way, there is a kind of push from other people as well, if that makes sense. And I also think this is part of the reason why Elon Musk is taking so many vacations, because he knows he's going to be like taking Trump's place soon. He knows. And like I said, so I want people to really like not like lock in and understand that it doesn't end when Trump dies, because it's probably not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But it doesn't end when Trump is gone. You still got to get rid of JD. You still got to, honestly, you got to get rid of the whole fucking system, because the Democrats are being pussies and the Republicans are literally being the fucking, like, truly the devil's reincarnated. So yeah, you got to get rid of the whole system at this point, except obviously, of course, except for Jasmine and Nicole Collier. Either way, like I said, I think this is going to be, his death especially will be a turning point, because a lot of MAGA people also do not like J.D. Vance himself. And a lot of them are turning tables on the entire Republican Party within itself. So ultimately, I think this will work out in our favor. And America's 250-year anniversary is next year. And historically speaking, empires usually only last roughly about 250 years. So I like to think, and I like to have hope,
that this change will be for the better.
Trump is going to die on the 3rd of September at 10 a.m. Could be 10 p.m. Somewhere around that time. My premonitions are never wrong. And he's going to die of a heart attack. Now, I've just woke up and my premonitions always come in my dreams. And I wanted to put it here that you heard it here first. Now, it could be 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. my time, your time, I don't know. Now, if you've followed me for a while, you'll know that I have had quite a few premonitions that have came true. And when I was in school, the kids used to call me Mystic Meg.
I can't believe I'm about to say this sentence, but Trump said something on Fox News this morning that gave me hope. It gave me hope. And I know we need hope badly right now. So hang on with me. So he was talking about how he wants to end the war in Ukraine and how he's ended all these wars. But he wants to end the war in Ukraine because he wants to get into heaven. He wants to get into heaven. He is worried about his mortal soul, about where it's going to go in the afterlife. And it is particularly weird for Donald Trump to say anything about his faith because he keeps it private after Paula White told him to. Because he messes up all the time. He fucks up. He said 2 Corinthians. He held the Bible upside down. Now he's suddenly talking about going to heaven. He wouldn't even tell anyone his favorite Bible verse, but he's concerned about where his soul is going to go. And he kind of played it off as a joke. We learned last month that he was sick and he had that intravenous whatever. He has congestive heart failure. And it's not long for this world. And he knows it.
Let's not forget this. This war starts in a vacuum. Russia invaded Ukraine and Trump has consistently downplayed Putin's aggression, even calling him a genius at one point. So when Trump suddenly positioned himself as a savior who can end war, that's not about peace, it's about control. So next time you hear Trump or any politician pinching themselves as the messiah of global conflict, remember real peace comes from solidarity, not self-promotion. Don't fall for the theatrics. Thank you for watching my videos. Please, if you are new here, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel to help the channel grow.